Hi Emil,
Hi Albert.
it's nice to see you here in your workshop today.
Yeah, I'm glad you came.
Emil is, we can say, is a VIP craftsman here in Oslo. His workshop located just between the all different embassies. Emil, please introduce yourself.
Well, as you know, I have my workshop here, and it's kind of weird. It's in the backyard of one of the buildings, and it started out being just a garage, a big garage, and it was filled almost to the ceiling with shit. And I asked the guy who owns the building if I cleaned it up, if I could use it. And he said, sure, if you want to do that, go ahead. So I did that and took whatever tools I had and put in here. This is after we started a company together to renovate apartments. Well, actually, I should back up even more. I grew up on the countryside, and my dad is a mechanic, been a Lotus mechanic, and Lotus racing, and BMW racing mechanic.
Alright, in which part of Norway?
In Oslo.
In Oslo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he did really well. He was offered a job in Germany as a BMW racing mechanic / engineer in Bayern. So that's kind of the person who raised me. So I grew up kind of always wanting to know how things work and comfortable with tools and all that. But I became an electrician, entered the military, stayed there for 3 years, and then became an electrician again. And I got assigned to a couple of clients, and one of the clients was the guy who has this building. And somehow I managed to say insulting things, and he appreciated the honesty, and we became friends. And all of a sudden he says, let's start buying apartments and renovate them and sell. So that's kind of how it all started.
How many years ago?
I think I quit my electrician job 3 years ago, and been doing the apartment things and woodworking since then, and also you know Hemnor. That's also been one of my side projects. I did a recording for myself when I actually realized that I am creative. I was 12 years old, and I was competing in motocross. But my dad usually did all the fixing of the motocross and the maintenance and all that. I kind of was like, let him do it. I don't want to do that. I just want to have fun. But then I got 12, and I wanted to build a moped, or a motorcycle / moped. So a friend of mine had one in parts, and that we bought for 1,000 kroners, Swedish kroners. And it was all in parts. The engine was split and everything was in parts. And my dad was like, you're never gonna be able to put this together and make it work. But something in my brain is, and everything he told me since I was 3 years old in his workshop, kind of started to get going. So for like 2 straight days, I was trying to assemble the engine, and this was, the internet was not that sophisticated yet, so you can just Google the schematics of this engine that no one really uses. So I kind of just had to sit there and understand how my dad told me once how the gearbox works in a car. And I got it together and mounted it in the frame, and I kicked a couple of times, and then it started. And when I was going to put in the first gear, it went backwards. So I put one of these, what's it called, wheels inside
the gearbox.
Yeah, I put that one the wrong way, so the entire gearbox went the wrong way. So I had to take it all apart again and find this shit that was the wrong way. And I managed to do that. And again, when I put it all together and then put it in the frame and I started it, when I was gonna drop the clutch, I was like, please God, please God, please God, yes! And it was like the best feeling ever to have accomplished that against my father's, like, you're never gonna make it work. And after that, my brain just started thinking about how is thing working? How does it work? Why does it work? Can it work better? That's kind of where my brain just became creative. So even in the military, where there's very little room for creativity, I was very creative in how I would challenge. I became a medic, and I would even challenge how we would do the procedures, because I was like, it's better to do like this. It's more streamlined. I'm like, no, you're gonna do the drill. I was like, but it's better to do like this. So, and also with clients as an electrician, they said they wanted to have it like this. I was like, nope, you don't want it like this. It's better to have it like this. And some clients would be like, that's right, that would be a lot better. And some would be like, I pay you to do this, you do this. And that's kind of demotivating for me, because my brain is just, and this is pointless. Why are we doing it not perfect or not as good as it can be? So I get very demotivated when I can't do it super good.
And then afterwards you start to do craft work, or it was in combined with this from 12 years old?
I was always interested in woodworking from I was a little child. And I made this RC boat in the workshop on the school. What's it called?
This kayak board, or?
You know, you have this class when you're young, where you go and you make something in wood, or you sew something. I don't know what it's called. Slojd is it called in Swedish and Norwegian, I think. Well, I was loving RC cars. So I was like, I'm gonna build a RC boat. And that was challenging a lot. It was with the V bottom and everything. I never completed it because I didn't have enough time until I had to move to the next grade, and then we didn't have any more of that class. So that's woodworking have always kind of been there. I didn't just do a cutting board. I wanted to build a RC boat. So my mind already then wanted to go, like, let's really make something cool.
So next step will be RC board. So you plan to make it?
No, I started making it.
And you did it?
I didn't finish it, but it's almost finished. And the teacher asked if he could keep it to have it on display to tell other kids, like, you know that he almost finished that one, and the advancement level of building an RC boat and making a cutting board is vastly different. So he's actually using it to inspire other young kids to try to do something advanced. And then woodworking kind of died out because I started, driving moped and girls and drinking and party life, and then moving to Norway and moving to Oslo. It's not going to be a wood shop on every corner you can just get some tools and get into. It's kind of hard. So it was 3 years ago that I started woodworking again.
How did you get your first client?
Actually, it's the same client that I started the company with, because his dad needed a new desk for his main office in Oslo. The main office is not in Oslo anymore, or never was, but his office space in Oslo. And I had never made a desk before, and I was gonna make it for this person, and he is the founder of Amphi, and he wanted it in walnut, and he gave me almost full design freedom. He just wanted it a certain size and a certain amount of drawers and what the drawers were gonna hold, but the main design was up to me. So I was learning a lot really quick, and I had to go on Finn and find tools that I needed to do these things, driving around and getting tools and trying to understand how they work. But eventually it became a very beautiful desk. So that was like I hadn't made any furniture really before that one, and I started with making that's when I realized that I have my brain kind of functions well with tools and wood, because it made sense, most of it. I have this friend of mine, Jan Ivar. He helps me sometimes with making materials and the rough things, but mainly I do most things 100% alone. I kind of have this thing where I'm watching a lot on YouTube on other woodworkers, and they talk about pricing and they talk about clients and all that. And of course, when you get a drawing on what they want, and it's all there, how you're gonna make it, the lengths and all that. Then of course you kind of only get paid for the labor and the materials. But I never make anything from anyone else's drawings. If you want a desk from me, you and I will have to sit down, share a bottle of wine or something, and talk about you and how you live and what kind of person you are, and then I will make a design for you. And I think that you should actually pay for the design, even if today's society everyone has a designer or is a designer. I made one bed, and it's for another kind of like VIP client, and that one is just a framework, but it's very, very Scandinavian, the simplicity, but it has very angled, quite long, high legs.
Mm-hmm.
So structural wise, to build that is kind of challenging, and also it's got this automatic lifters in it, so I had to make all the framework for that to fit. So mixing then the functionality with the design, and then on top of that a design that is it's not fragile, but it's structural, not the best way to make something solid, if that makes sense. And he paid quite well for that. I would estimate the framework to be almost 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a bed, you can get a very, very nice bed at IKEA for...
But sometimes in some houses, yes, you're right, it's difficult to fit into the place, so it's better to order and to find this type of a craftsman.
Yeah, if it's a small place or it's got these weird corners and stuff, yeah, of course, but then you need to special order the mattress and everything as well. The bed that I made, very design, as much design you can make on a bed pretty much, because of the legs and how it kind of melted in with the rest of the Scandinavian interior.
So we can say every product, it's a tailor-made product.
Yeah, and it's for you, that person. It's not because you have a small bedroom, or because I want to make a furniture that inspires you, that kind of resembles you, but at the same time maybe challenge you. If you tell me about your ambitions, I might make a design that kind of reflects your ambition instead of where you are at that point in life, so that when you see this desk every day, you get inspired to keep going towards your ambition. I actually did this with my first desk I made, because his time was almost over and supposed to pass it down to his son. So how I made all the angles and that is kind of for him, like, you need to let go. And I made the surface super, super silky, so that it will feel like calming when you touched it, instead of maybe having some more structure. That I like a little bit structure, but then it's more rough, you know, and your brain kind of registers that as times are rough. This is rough feeling. But if it's silky smooth, every time you touch it, you kind of get this, you know, nice feeling. It's kind of there, actually. Design is decoration, function, and personality.
So you divide it into 3 parts, you say, yes?
Yeah.
Or first you have decoration.
Yeah.
Then design, and then
No, the design is combined by these 3. That's how I come up with the design.
And you ask the question like, yes, who, why, when, personality.
Because who are you, and why do you want this thing, and where are you in your timeline, and yeah.
We can say the type, it's your type of, not motto, but approach to the client.
Yeah. And this will usually happen with some wine or a couple of beers to kind of just get the feelings out a little bit.
So you get the psychology and you try to make it close to person.
Yeah. I have very little filter. And if someone says, I like this, and I'm saying, why would you ever like something like this? And then they start kind of defending it. And then I might say like, yeah, but why don't you think about that and that and that, and put that together with this, and then you would maybe choose this instead. Then I engage that person. Firstly, a little bit hostile maybe, but then it grows into more of a conversation, a discussion about, let's figure out where we can go with this. And I think that's just who I am. And it's honest, and if you say that you want this kind of design and I don't want you to have that design, I will not make it. Then call someone else. And I think people respect that kind of what's it called, approach to it. So I made a couple of things for a restaurant, and they kind of just gave me a couple of guidelines on what they wanted in terms of size and functionality. And I made up 3 different designs of it, and they chose. And then I developed that one more, and I made all the amounts they wanted, and delivered it. I never showed them the final design I came up with, because I, during the way, figured out a better design, and when I got there, delivered it, they agreed that it was much better. So it's maybe that approach to it, that I will make it better, just trust me. And it seems to be working, because that product I made there got me the client I have now, because they were eating there, saw the product, asked about it, and now they want me to make things for them.
So we say from mouth to mouth, yeah? Actually,
Yeah.
it came.
It's mouth to mouth.
Not even marketing, but even people see your design, your craft work, and they ask for another stuff.
And it's kind of hard. I don't like to put it like this, because it makes me seem not humble about what I do. But I am. I absolutely think that there's a lot of people that don't like my designs, but that's fine. Then my design is not for you. But it's also my only marketing channel is to do those things, and people see it, like it, and want it. And I kind of, have to build on that. So when people ask me, or some people had an idea, and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. It's kind of like, because I'm actually telling them because I know better than you. And that is not a very humble thing to say. But I am actually humble. I just don't think that you have a better idea. Sometimes they do have a better idea, and then I change what I think originally. But that's usually not the case.
What about the new company Hemnor that you also launched? What do you do in Hemnor? You have design of different things there?
But they are not released. But as you know, you're familiar with the product. And I guess that product gave me a lot of confidence because I invented it. It's super easy, really.
What is it, actually?
You know the frames.
Yeah, I know, but...
For the careless.
Yeah.
It's a decorative metal frame that you click into your switches or outlets. And originally it was just made to cover some holes in a wall with switches in it. And from there, my brain said we can do this better. And as you know, I just kept on developing the product. And now it's developed to the point where one design fits many different brands. And it's super easy, you can put it on yourself. And then getting the feedback from the exhibition and on Instagram and people in general who have seen it. I put it in almost every apartment that we renovated, and people on the listings asks like, where did I get this? So that kind of gave me a lot of confidence that okay, I did something good here. And I'm gonna build on that. I'm currently designing other design elements to put in your home to cover ugly things and making one continuous seamless line throughout your home. Like if you're a brass guy, you want brass on every detail in your house, right? Not just one. So yeah, I'm coming up with more products to complete your home.
What's your future plans?
For Hemnor?
Yeah, for not only for Hemnor, but for you and for your creation as a craftsman.
Actually, it's just a couple of weeks ago that I realized that I want to design furniture. I actually want to just stand in my workshop and make things for people who appreciate it.
Good. And now I just want to ask you several questions. It can be Blitz questions. You can answer as fast or slow as you want. But what is friendship for you?
Friendship?
Yeah.
Friendship to me is when you can be apart for a long time, and it's the same when you meet again. Or you're having a bad night, you just call that person and they can almost immediately empathize or put themselves in the situation you're in and help you from there. And it's not unconditional, but it's very close to it. I'm not a man of many close friends or like best friends, but the ones I have, I'm quite unconditional towards them. They need to do something really, really bad for me not to be friends with them. But then you have, other friends that are more people that you see every once in a while and is decent company. But you would never ask them to come pick you up in the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night, because you know that it's too much to ask and the answer would probably be no, or they wouldn't even pick up. So friendship, there's two different kinds of friendship for me.
Okay, have it. And question number 2, what is your big achievement?
My big achievement is my workshop. It's to have a workshop in an embassy district in a main capital. It's so stealth, like no one would ever think this was here, but it is, and I'm actually making things here. That's my biggest achievement. I grew up in a workshop, so for me to re-establish a workshop where I moved, to me is priceless.
And the last question, whom you would like to meet on a dinner, or whom you will invite on a dinner that you're gonna make, for example?
This is gonna sound a little bit corny, but Robbie Williams.
Oh, really?
I think that man has been through so many different things, and he seems like a really cool guy. And what really sold me on him was his swing albums. After he had have sex and do cocaine in a hotel room for a couple of months episode, and his show in Royal Albert Hall. Like, I would just love to sit down with him, drink wine, eat good food, and then sing all his swing songs together afterwards here in the workshop, playing on my Bang & Olufsen system. Yeah, so it's not an intellectual debate I would have. It would just be two old souls riffing.
Thank you very much, Emil.
Thank you.